Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm literally just getting the stream set up, so away we go. I love the way it posts Lethal Company here for the link. That motor, I'm probably gonna have to edit the stream's thumbnail again, because even though I've changed it, YouTube hasn't seemingly updated it. Let's try this. No, still not working. Oh well. People are gonna come in and question that now. It's gonna be like, dude, it's not my fault. It's the way that everything else is. Okay. Right, so first off, let's just do EX floor. EX wall? And then I've got to texture this. So I actually do need this section to be floor, but the rest of it has to be wall. We'll just make sure. Right. Just gotta make sure that when this gets textured, it gets textured decently so that I'm not like messing up anything. Hey Sammy, how you doing? Oh, where's... There we go. Did that actually wrap correctly or what? Let's find out. Oh, it did. Right, this is going to be an absolutely massive room, so I'm probably going to need some other stuff going on here. I figure I just get like the basics in place, and then we go from there. See how this looks? It's not too bad like that. Oh. Figure if I put it there, then at least I kind of know what's going on. Are you bridging the gaps in Waterfall? I'm going to need to address that in a little bit, because what I'm going to do probably is take everything out of the inspirations section of the Discord and then just talk about them and see what people like and don't like. Because I'm up to that anyway, so if I can just get that idea done, then this entire area is done, and then basically Waterfall's done. I say that because like the rest of it is easily mapped out. The plum flew over your head. Oh no, I didn't. I was just like, it's a pun. I didn't even want to ruin the joke. It's just like, oh yeah, pun. The amount of scenery that I have down below here is nuts. I just realized I might need to turn that down. Oh no, it's already turned down. Okay. So yeah, I need to make this new room with the meshes look better. Oh, come on now. The problem is this wall here. Let's get rid of it. Went from just me watching to having 3 others appear as memes. Yeah, it's as usual. I would have posted it in more places, but the problem is that for some strange reason on my end, the stream says it has Lethal Company's thumbnail on it. Which makes no sense. Excuse me, I'm sneezing again here. Wake up, it's a Saturday, oh, Moody streaming. Thank you very much. I am yet again sneezing. I found myself on the receiving end of sneezing. I was like, achoo! Achoo! Okay, so idea for this is going to try and get some shape in this to make it look a little bit better, so I can just try and do this a little bit, try and make sure it doesn't go too straight, but it has a little bit more shape in it. Like, that's already got tons of shape, but then in areas like this, might need to get the dusters out. Yeah, it's probably the room that I'm in. Admittedly, I do need to dust it, so let's do this and try seeing if I can see if I can do that. Idea being that it slowly, like, goes left and right there. Admittedly, this is like the most lazy and easy way of making this look like it kind of curves, but it works. I say lazy, but it's actually a little bit more effort involved. And then what we'll do is we'll take this and apply the lowest of edge loops. And we'll go from there and see about applying all of this and see just how it works. Idea being that I'm probably gonna have to redo the UVs, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay. So the reason for this is because now we can start messing around with these edges. Like, we can bring them out here if we want, or bring them out at the bottom, preferably in this kind of an area. I like bringing them out at the bottom. I don't know why, it's just a thing that I do. Hey, Revenge! Do the same on this side. We'll just sort of bring it out here, and then if I need to, I can just put more detail in it so it doesn't look as bad. As more people fill up the space here in chat, we'll also go over the idea for Undyne's Chase, because I figure some people might have an idea visually of how they want it to look like. So I figure, yeah, I'll give people a little bit of time and then we can work on that together. Because my brain's still in that whole thing of just being like, dude, I'm not so sure about this. I'm like, it's okay. It's all good. Hey horses, how you doing? I'm doing alright. I wish I could have been at the event the other night, but I had more important stuff. Sounds terrible, but like, I was looking after family, so... Looking after family, and I had to wake up early to look after family as well, so... It's that whole thing of it's like, family's more important. Now let's do this. Like, slowly bridge this out here. The idea being that I should, on one side, have this looking like it's going to fall over the edge here, and we can kind of manipulate that as a result. Make it look like it's going down there. And then on the other side, have it pushing in so it looks a little bit more visually interesting. But yeah, while everybody's in now, Dave turned into Vin Diesel for a second. It's all about family. One last ride for family. I really can't do Vin Diesel, but... How many times has Vin actually said one last ride in that franchise? One last ride. One last ride. Vin, are you okay? One last ride. He's been sat there in the corner saying one last ride for the past 3 days. One last ride. I think somebody needs to put him in a hospital. One last ride to the hospital. Come on, away you go. Here's the straitjacket. They put him in the ambulance and all he just shouts is hand shark from when he did the Street Sharks thing. Like, Vinny, have you been on something? But yeah. Because there's, I just choked. Oh, don't choke. Don't choke. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I'll show everyone the designs. Horses, memes, Sammy, Damon, you're still in here, right? Because I'm going to be getting a lot of reference images and just throwing them at chat. And I know Revenge is in here as well. I shouldn't leave Revenge out. Let's see here. I got a load of images to like share here and explain. So I'll do them in Blender. I'm not here, says Memes. I'm not here, says Damon. Okay. Horses says... Waterfall is my favourite place in Undertale. I have a really good friend named Waterfall. It's so funny. Not here. Okay, so you're all here. All here while also trying to avoid my my really bad Vin Diesel impression. It's all about family. Right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain everything. And I'm going to save a ton of images and you get to see them because I need the help. So let's just do reference. I'm just going to make sure I have all these images saved so I can just click and drag them into Blender rather than doing anything else here. Give me a moment. I don't want it to mess around, but essentially these are just going to serve as like ideas and explanations of how I'm thinking of stuff will go. But while you're waiting for me in the background to no, we aren't here. I'm your conscience, says Sammy. So while I'm just doing this in the background and getting stuff ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post, or rather I'm going to put in Blender the map for Waterfall, and I'll show you what I'm looking at now, or specifically I'll show you the section that I'm kind of like, wait, what? And then we can talk about this. And I just realized I can't do that one because it doesn't have the details on it. It's on the Discord, which means going back to the Discord again and getting the map, and then we'll go from there. Where is it? That moment where I'm literally like trying to find the layout here, and it was on here last night, I swear. Where the hell is it? I blame the talk about family. I just like ruined everything. Family. There we go. So. This might as well just be immersion stream featuring Dave's really bad rendition of Vin Diesel. Eat the moss. Sorry about the brutal furry joke, Dave. Now that I think about it, I didn't want to alienate. No, it's fine, it's fine. Hello, everyone. So, if you're familiar with Undertale, then you'll kind of get an idea of where this is in Waterfall. It's not the exact version, it's a map that somebody's done of it, and shows you the correct route through it. For those who aren't familiar with it, I'll just let you know more about it. So, as you get to the top of Waterfall, you go for a stroll with Monster Kid, and Monster Kid tells you about Undyne and stuff. And you get to this interesting area where Undyne sneaks up behind you. And where we are at the top left-hand side here. Oh, come on. Over here. This is where this starts. And this green line represents where the player is meant to go. What this is a map in tiles of a area where you're essentially running across a load of bridge pieces being chased by Undyne as she uses spears to get you. I'll pull it up on stream here for the moment just so it's easy to see. Undertale Pacifist Waterfall. There we go. I love this. I put it on and then immediately I get a Nintendo Switch advert for 15 seconds. Right, there we go. Okay. So I'll show you where this is now. So let me get this window here. Okay, so it's this. Basically, what you're looking at is on the other image that I had on screen was this. Right? So this is the start of this area where we're on like this very high ledge. And we got a little bit of text and a save point back here. And this is more famously where Undyne chases you. We've got the down below here, as you can see. It just looks like a bunch of like flat boards. And then we've got what looks like a bridge up above that Frisk is walking on. And as you can see here, when we walk across him, this is where Undyne decides to launch her attack. And then causes Frisk to have to run like mad. And Undyne is either below or just to the side and below. She's somewhere where you have, or where she has a clear line of sight at you still. And meanwhile, you're just running like mad. It doesn't really show it in gameplay because of there being no run, if I remember rightly, in Undertale compared to Deltarune. But yeah, this is the bit that I have to map out, right? And the craziest part about this is, it just looks like a bunch of boards. We know we're high up, right? I'm trying to come up with the idea for the room because when we go further on here, we get all the way to the very end. We're still at the highest point. And then Undyne traps us in this corner and cuts us off and we fall into the garbage dump below. But the thing is, it's like, I don't like the idea of this just being a floating platform because we have no reference point of what's in the background. You know, there's absolutely nothing there for us to figure out what's going on in this room other than just you run across a bridge, Undyne is somewhere there, and you have to avoid her. So that's the map, and I'm like, how do I do this in 3D? So I started collecting a bunch of reference the other day, and I'm like, okay, let's see how this is going to look together. So I ended up just grabbing this. I'm just going to grab the rest of this real quick now. That moment where I literally have like an entire folder just dedicated to reference images for this thing. Because it's just so confusing on how I'm going to get this done because of the height difference mainly. Like, the one thing that ruins it, I think, is the lack of depth. Like, Toby obviously wanted to not use too many sprites in this area to make it look dark or whatever. And as a result, it kind of ruins how you look at it, because it's just like, how do I make sense of this? You know? I'm just quickly trying to save more stuff here. I'll also get another video reference up. I'll also get rid of the advertisements on the video reference as well. It's the ever-growing void. Yeah, it's like in Hotland. The only way that made sense is if it was lava or magma, you know. So the amount of images I have here is just nuts. I keep forgetting that I have to go to Discord, save the image, then come back, then go to Discord, save the image, come back. Is it supposed to be above a giant landfill? Yes, it is. But because we're in a cave, it's like a load of crazy stuff. That's why I'm getting the references, because it's like, I'm thinking of incorporating something there to make it look visually different and cool. But I'll show you where I'm going with this in a moment. I'm literally just downloading every single image I had last night, just so that you guys know the kind of direction I was thinking of going with it. I just need, like, there's so many images I'm using here. No joke, when I say I have like a massive amount of images, I can't even save them all because some of them are like .webp or something, whatever the heck that format is. But yeah, I was downloading a ton of images last night until like really early in the morning. Maybe a mix of landfill and poop room from... No. No. Hang on. Oh, I can't use that one? That was a really good one. Damn it. I hate it when I can't use some of these reference images because of the formatting. It's just so stupid. Hang on. What I've also got to take into account is the fact that I want this to be an interesting and fun chase for Frisk and to watch. So you got to kind of take that into consideration. Hope everybody's still here and with me at the moment while I'm busy waffling on behind the scenes here. Okay, I'm almost done here. So many images of the same kind of thing. But again, it's to justify what I've been up to, so... And it kind of works. I just need to get the idea of the map layout, kind of. That one actually looks real nice. Give me a moment. We're almost there. We're almost there. So much reference. Because, like, the difference with references, you can like the most minuscule of thing, and it might just be like, you're looking at an entire image, and you might just like one small section of that image, and it's just like, dude, I'm just saving that image just in case. You know, it's crazy. Somebody's DeviantArt image, save that one again. Almost done here. Let's do that. I know you're paying too well, says Damon. Yeah, it's like, I've been doing this for ages when it comes to collecting reference and stuff for different projects and things, but this is by far the craziest. Okay, so Pinterest is the worst. Pinterest is terrible for reference. You try and like get anything off Pinterest, and it's just like, you need an account. I'm like, well, I don't want to use an account. It's like, well, you need one. Okay, so I'm just gonna start throwing this reference out, right? It's not all of it, but it's a majority of it. So let's preface this. Collecting references is half the job, since you might need hundreds. Yep. Like, I know some jobs for industry stuff and literally just collecting reference, which is nuts. But anyway, so we've got in here 23 items, and to preface this first, or to get you in my mindset of this, of where I'm going with Waterfall, the entire time I've been looking at the OG sprite sheet, and the OG sprite sheet had one thing that I really liked and took for gospel, really. Waterfall sprite sheet Undertale. I was like, I want that because I like the detail. If I grab the sprite sheet here real quick, I can throw this up as reference as well. So, open up the wrong Blender window. Back to work. Right, so when we have the sprite sheet here, right, I'll just hide that off screen. This is the OG sprite sheet, apparently, for Waterfall. And it features quite a lot of the elements that everybody comes to know and love. But we also get some interesting things that you never really see in the final game. That being some of this stuff in the right hand, bottom right hand particularly. And then also some of the unused stuff over here, right? And the reason why I like this stuff is because it was more visually interesting for me to include it. Especially because we hear about the monsters digging all the way through Waterfall and all the way through the underground to get to their new place in New Home. And I'm like, makes sense that part of that was the mining it. That's why those sections are in there in the sprite sheet, is because Toby, I really think Toby was hinting at that, of like, look, the way that this is set up, it's supposed to show that they were mining through Waterfall to get to New Home. And I took that and went, okay, I can use that. So you'll see in a lot of areas in Waterfall I've tried, including either minecart tracks or places where there are a load of crystals and everything that make it look as though areas have been mined and other areas haven't. And it's brought it to life very nicely. I like it like that. It's the same with like these wooden supports here. These wooden supports that are just here, those are seen behind Sans, and they're also seen at Gerson's shop and everything. And those are indicative of like roof supports for mines. Those are the only things that you really see left of the mine kind of like theme in Waterfall in the final. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I'll use those everywhere as well. So I've done that. So Waterfall's more like a mine now at the moment. And going off that, I was like, okay, this last area would be really cool if it showed a little bit more of the mine theme again. Primarily because, as you saw, it's a dark void and we have a lot to work with. So I can add like a lot of detail going in there. Bearing in mind that we still have the whole deal with the overhead map. So if I was to take out some of these other gameplay element areas and just condense this, so we take out all of this that's covered in blue, and all these, oh no, and all these other extra areas here. God damn it! I know that moment where I'm trying to do it, it keeps messing up. Take out that. Take out that. Take out this over here. So we just condense it into its most purest form, right? Then what we have is lots of room around here and here where we can fill in with different details, whether it be roof supports or whatever. We can even do that here. Have like a roof support here if we want some other stuff. Throw that in. But what I don't get with this room at the moment, and the main thing that's stopping me, is the height of the bridges and everything, because of the way that Undyne is. And she jumps up onto the same bridge as you round about here. It doesn't go all the way under for her. It comes up to about like here, I think it is, or something. Or round here. And then she jumps onto the same bridge as you. And then runs after you. So, it says that it isn't too high above wherever the floor is. but it's also enough that there's a distance between you and Undyne, right? So you start getting an idea of, well, maybe it's a little bit more raised above her and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I've not really seen a bridge like that that's raised super high on stilts and things, especially because of Waterfall's theme. So then I start looking for all this reference, right? And I'm just going around mixing stuff in my head. And what I end up using or getting here at the moment is a bunch of stuff. Here's all 24 items coming up now. Or 23. Right, so I got this one. And this one's interesting because it kind of solves a lot of those issues by having the mine stuff that I was already talking about on stilts to put in the wall, and then more giant stilts there, and there's some water down below. That's pretty cool. Kind of gets me a little bit believing, you know, it'd be a natural kind of place. I did search up fantasy mines as well, so... But I was kind of a bit sort of freaked out by the whole giant pole things holding them up. But this idea of having, like, Undyne or Frisk walk on one that looked like bridges, or whatever, or appear, and then have, like, Frisk run along one that was kind of like a layer above. There was almost like a minecart section. Seemed kind of cool. And I was like, okay, kind of getting there with an idea, right? Then I started thinking, well, does it all have to be bridge stuff? Can I not change it into something like this, where we have the large cave, and we have, like, these stone structures going around the cave that look like bridges, or have been fashioned into bridges, and between, like, giant pillars of, like, crystal or whatever that they've been farming to get through to the other side of Waterfall. And this is kind of the area where at some point we have, like, say, this, like, wooden bridge area. It goes around one of these giant pillars like this, and then goes down onto just a normal bit of rock that we can then just, like, run across, and then we go on to the next bit, and it follows around. That was something where I was like, yeah, okay, I wouldn't mind seeing something like this, especially because, as you can see here, there's, like, waterfalls. I figured I can put waterfalls in there. It's all good. You know, so that was kind of interesting as well. And I looked at that a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of what I'm looking at now. The whole thing of, like, rock faces joined together, and then Undyne's on a lower section. Right? Seemed kind of cool. Then we've got another variation of this, where it was a little bit more interesting, where we have basically more minecart stuff. But what caught my attention here was the lower sections where Undyne can run across, and also these upper sections with little bits of, like, wood that are being placed in to have, like, for jumping on or something. I thought that'd be pretty neat, because of me already having some of these other bits in there to begin with. This one I really like. This next one is Rift, or it's called Rift. And this was what I was on about with the idea of having the pillars with the crystals in. Because I could really just imagine, like, bridges going between these, and then have all the crystals up in the ceiling, making it look fantastic. And then having Frisk running around on bridges that are bridging the gap between these, as we can see, like, these areas slowly building up so that they mine away at the crystals. That looks really cool, and I actually think that it'll make for a very fantastic, sort of, like, really, really visually impressive room, if I could get it done. Let's see what else we got here. Just trying to find appropriate ones so I can reference from other bits. Again, here's another sort of fantasy mine concept thing where I'm like, okay, this doesn't look too bad in terms of, like, moving around in areas that have been fashioned into the rock faces. I wouldn't mind that if that was kind of how it was designed, with a little bit of bridges in between, because it makes sense rather than it all being out of, like, solid wood. And then I'm looking around and I'm getting cool images here of like underground caverns. And this is where I started to think about what's down below. Because I'm like, okay, we could have just water down below and have a load of waterfalls come in like this. I'm thinking to myself, well, what would the detail look like for that? And it could be a case of like, because of lack of use for ages, parts of it could just be broken away like that, so you could have it be more interesting, because have Undyne have to jump between them or whatever to continue chasing after Frisk. I'm like, okay, that's pretty neat. And then I started finding other neat little details where it's like, okay, maybe this area is overgrown like this and has an absolute ton of different flowers and foliage in it. So we've got this like almost a pier that Undyne's running across that's closer to the floor, but obviously we can't tell that because of how high up we are in the game and because there's basically nothing but blackness in there. But imagine like Undyne comes out of this other cave that's linked down below and is walking across this sort of like pier that's on the water surface. I thought that'd be pretty cool, and then we can put like all these lily pads everywhere, really populate it with water foliage. And then that's when I started finding bridges like this, where I'm like, oh, okay, those bridges that are tall are a thing, but they're just not too tall. You know, because sometimes my brain gets stuck and it's like, that doesn't look believable, you know, because I've not seen it myself. Sounds totally ignorant of me, but it's like, it's hard to think about it and picture it if you've not already experienced it or seen it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm warming up to the idea of having a really tall bridge. And then, like with here now, that's another really tall bridge that has really complicated structure on it. And I'm like, I don't have to go that complicated, but the structure is big and cool and does hold up. I just might have to have it be actually somewhat reinforced to make sense. You know, I don't know, that's pretty tall, says Damon. Yeah, this one is pretty tall. The other one wasn't before, but... And then, of course, again, we've got Undyne's section or more reference for it, where I was like, okay, maybe I can have it kind of like this, where it's set up... It's almost like a swamp of sorts down below, whereas further up there, obviously... harvesting crystals, and that's where Frisk is on the upper section. But that's the kind of place that I'm at the moment with this, in terms of like coming up with ideas. The only other one I've got for ideas and reference is, come up with it here, let's just pause that for a moment, is Gunston Mines from Klonoa, right? And the reason for that is because I've used it before for the whole basis for doing Waterfall here. But Gunston Mines does something kind of similar. When it has water in it, in the background, you'll be able to see it. This is from Klonoa. And it's got minecart areas sprawling all over the place. It's got these like giant areas where they're held up. But at least it makes sense because they're held up by things that are, held to the walls. I'm even using textures from this area that I've just blended together with my own, so it's pretty close. But I figure like more wooden stuff holding up like this and then have the water come through and then have the gems everywhere. Pretty nice, you know, so again, this is the kind of thing where I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is pretty close to what I'm thinking of. I'm just not so sure about certain details, you know. Those details being how high I should make this. And then what I should commit to in terms of like how to approach it. Let's finish up here. In the next section, this is where we have a minecart ride. This is originally when Undyne's Wacky Cart Ride idea was going to come in. Which is where they have just a minecart chase. But yeah, there's the kind of thing that I'm looking at. Maybe one made out of metal. I don't know. Like, I might just go all in with the stuff that I talked about and just really ham up the fancy vibe. It's just a case of, like, picking out those sections and be like, look, I want this, I want that, you know, this is gonna look neat if I do this. And then just like slowly figure out exactly what it is that I want to do with it. Because this is literally like the last thing before I complete Waterfall. Like, it's like I said before, the rest of Waterfall is easy, provided I can get this one area done. Because this one area is so open to interpretation, as is quite a lot of the things in Undertale's map stuff, as a lot of people have been contacting me about recently. But yeah, the moment this is done, that's it. You can more or less expect Waterfall's update by the end of the month easily. That's why I'm so confident about this at the moment, because it's just like, yeah, it's all in the bag. It's just a case of working on this one teeny little bit at the end and be like, oh, okay, this is finally what I'm happy with, you know. Let's push that out there. Maybe just metal sticks and wooden planks. Maybe? Meme says, so wait, it's almost done. Yeah, it's like I was saying, the way that this is at the moment, I've grinded so hard since the beginning of the year and just before it, like over Christmas and stuff, that I can confidently say that the Waterfall update, or at least Waterfall itself, will be done by the end of the month if I can get this idea done. Because the rest, when you look at the map, right, that's left to be done, we're doing over here. Where's the map? Come on, give me a break. When we look at this, at the moment when I can find it. It's in the downloads section. There we go. Give me. Where's the? I think that's it. Hang on. No, that is not it. Okay, here we go. So, where I'm up to is literally like round here, because I'm doing the details for this area now, right? This area. And then we're doing the whole point of this stream was to figure out an idea for this area, which is the chase sequence, right? Then after which, I come back and I'm here, really, because the garbage dump is super easy to do. After going through the rest of this, it was mainly the marsh that was messing me up. So then, what do we have from there? We have some rooms with a couple of waterfalls in either side and some echo flowers. We have what looks like a forest of trees with a lot of like glowing grass in to light the way. Temmie Village, and then the end here where you have the fight really with Undyne. On the top of the cliff as well. And the whole point of this entire update, as well as just doing Waterfall, was to get the... Hang on. Hey, Happy. Sent you some pictures. Okay, I'll check them out. But yeah, the whole point of this update was to get to and map out here. Because not only did I need Undyne's section to be visually updated to be consistent with everything else, but I needed to link this area in where you run away from Undyne during her fight sequence and you come across the Hotland. Where is it? The Hotland sign over here where Papyrus calls you up, and meanwhile it's just like Hotland on scrolling text over here like this, right? The whole point is to get this bit mapped out as well, and then join that up to Hotland, because you can't have Hotland and its exterior wall without having the hole in Waterfall to be able to see Hotland through from Undyne's boss fight. So it's like, that needs to connect in, and Hotland needs to connect back to Waterfall. So we need to be able to see Waterfall from Heartland as well. And at the same time, we also need to be able to see New Home, which will be more up in the ceiling than this. So it's like New Home's going to be like just barely visible from like a hole in the ceiling or whatever, or I can just put like a giant hole in the ceiling and have light coming through it, and that will replace the castle thing, or just have a little bit of a hole in the floor showing maybe the castle poking through. You know, I just figure that's what I need, but that's it. Once Waterfall's done, then that's basically most of, if not all of the areas remapped. And by that, I mean, like, there's just small details, like a picture frame here and there or whatever else to be consistent. Snowdin needs just linking to it, which will not take long. Maybe a quick texture update for Snowdin, which will not take as long as Waterfall. But yeah, outside of like a couple of smaller models that can be done whenever, it's more or less I'll be moving on to animation and stuff after this, and maybe just carefully asking people what the hell they think the barrier looks like for the final fight with Asriel. But yeah, we'll practically be done after this, as in like all the areas will be remapped and I'll be back to where I was 6 months ago when I was like, okay, I just need the voices. You know, instead now it's like, okay, now I've remapped everything. Everything looks good. I'm not changing it now. That's set in stone because of the quality upgrade. Now I just need those final voices, you know, to animate stuff. Animating's going to be a little bit slow because obviously of me dealing with everything at home. But my idea is that I'm going to spend time with family during the day and then do animating at like an hour or two at night, hopefully, each day. We'll have to see how that goes. But that's my idea at the moment. That's how I'm going to approach this. And hopefully, I should get a lot done. I'm going to be still doing updates for that kind of thing. We'll see how it goes from there. So yeah, fun times, it's all good. It's all looking good at the moment. This will all be in the Waterfall update anyway, where I described this, and I'm just like, so anyway, I redid Waterfall, and I redid Hotland. Fun times. I still have people actually messaging me about Hotland, and just turning around and being like, dude, how did you even make sense of this? It was like, well, funny story, actually. So yeah. We're looking at really close to, I mean like really, really close to being at the point where it's just animating, which is really cool, you know, because like all this time I've just been messing around with stuff just to really play for time while I'm waiting for people to get lines back to me, you know, plus also improving visuals, because I'm like, the visuals do need improving a little bit, you know, so it's not just I'm doing it for the sake of it. It's like, no, they genuinely did need it compared to what I had previously, and it is looking a lot better now, so. Let's see what Damon says. Just need to try and edit these areas so they look good. Damon says, maybe you thought about it wrong. Maybe Toby's level could be interpreted like a classic underground mine built in levels. It's good though, don't get me wrong. That's a lot of wrongs. It's like, the funny thing about this is a lot of people interpret this stuff differently. And it's like I've said before, I know why. It's because when you see the gaps and things and like trying to make sense of everything and you can't make sense of it, immediately you're just like, what the hell do I put here, you know? And if you've got a really good imagination, then you can put more or less anything you want in certain sections. You know, so it's interesting how there's no right and wrong interpretation of these maps, but there are ones that people will like more primarily because it makes more sense. You know, like the one thing that doesn't make sense to me is Undyne just having a massive chase with you over a absolutely massive drop. Like, that doesn't make sense to me until we get to the end of the chase. Because I figure at that point you've ran far enough around that there probably is like a hole in the roof or something somewhere that you can drop through. You know, but until then, it's just like, wait, what? Let's just put another loop in here. Trying to just see if I can make this look tiny bit better. But yeah, it's a very interesting place. I want to get this just right in terms of the feel for it. That's why I like the dunes so much in Undertale Yellow at the moment, because it kind of gives me a load of neat ideas. Because it's more or less a similar looking area, you know, in terms of like, you have this set of like mines built up for mining the crystals that are in the underground, and it even explains some of them a little bit. It's like, oh, that's nice. That previously wasn't in the canon, and I just happened to be thinking that way anyway. And then the yellow team were obviously thinking in the same direction and gone, yeah, this is cool. You know, I'm like, yeah, no, this really is cool. It's a happy coincidence there. Let's just get this out here, push that in slightly. This is looking a little bit more like a cliff ledge now. Cannon Schmannen. Can I be an NPC in Terry Village? This game, good boy gamer. There's no other places where I can add people like that. You know, it's all been taken. It's all as canon as can be, apart from certain instances. You know what we need? The trailer. Like, trust me when I say I'm trying to stick as much to canon as possible, because I really, really do like it. Plus, I figure that familiarity helps with things like this. You have to include... Oh, this isn't a game. This isn't a game, Good Boy Gamer. This is a movie. I'm literally making a full 3D movie of Undertale. That's also another reason why I can't include stuff like that. Yeah, this isn't a full 3D game. This is a 3D movie. No, it's fine. I'm not telling you off or anything. I'm just merely saying, you know, this is the reason why. It's all good. Just thought I'd explain why. Hey, Skyward! Still doing Waterfall. Hello, everyone that's popping in now. While everybody else is coming into here, here's my question of the day to chat. That I've asked a couple of people already, and people are like, I'm not so sure, right? What is your impression? Like, what do you think the chase sequence with Undyne looks like in 3D? You know, like, and by that I mean, the area where she chases you and then you fall into the garbage dump, right? I've shown it on stream just, it's a massive black void and you run across bridges, right? What do you think that would actually look like in 3D? Like, when you're trying to imagine this, What's your idea of that area of Waterfall? How does it look to you? How tall is it? You know, what's going on with your impression of that area? Because you can come up with absolutely anything. I just want to know what people think, other than just like, oh, it's a dark, spooky area. You know, because it might help. It might help loads. Let's try and bring these bits out. Let's try and bring this out a little bit here. I figure I can just bring that out there and then... Imagine it's very tall. Oh, it's tall and the rest very dark. I feel like it'd either be suspended terrifyingly high up so you can't see the floor below and fade to black darkness, or suspended above until you land in water. So, I don't like caves. The descent and mimic really messed me up as a kid. So yeah, the reason why I'm explaining this like this is because I'm up to that bit almost. I'm just doing the bits before it. Are you going to add Temmie Village? Yeah, I'm just up to the bits before Temmie Village. Can't wait to add Temmie Village in, because that's going to be an easy bit. I always imagined it as horribly high up. Wouldn't recommend it for the faint heart. You know how there's like just black down below? Do you think it'd be like totally just black void, or would it make more sense to have like water down below because of it being like a giant area full of water normally anyway? Hope you're knocking wood every time you say this, David. I'm not. Probably water, but very dark water. Ooh, interesting. You mean so it looks like it's very deep? What run is the movie going to be? True Pacifist. True Pacifist only. Maybe it's a black void with sparkles shining off the walls out of the darkness. I mean, water, you're going to do... Oh, god damn it, move. True Pacifist is canon. Indeed, True Pacifist is awesome. But yeah, for those who have just come in, I'll show you where I was going with Waterfall before, like the rooms before this, and then we can go from there. Please don't be showing any textures. Oh, there we go, there we go. Okay, so the rooms before this, I can't wait to see Metzon in full 3D. Nice! So here we go, right? I'm not going to show you with textures. Just ignore Giga Sands over there in the background. It's gigantic. But when we come into Waterfall here, this is the one of the areas where we have a save point, right? And as you can see, I'm going with this whole... For those who just came in, you should see the trailer 100%. Won't lose any viewers. I'll throw the trailer on in a bit. But yeah, as you can see, like, with here, I'm going for the look of, like, stalactites from the ceiling. I'm going for crystals everywhere. I'm not showing this with textures or lighting on, because that would spoil everything. But we got stalagmites on the floor, rocks everywhere, pebbles all over the place. And then as we get further in here, there's the bit with Sans and his telescope. Are you going to do a genocide movie? I may do a snippet of a genocide movie. I'm not so sure at the moment. I mentioned it a couple of times, but I don't know about the genocide route. Then we got inside here is where we find an ice cream. As you can see, we're still doing the whole thing of having gems all over the place and some mushrooms and things. And then we come out of here. You should make an April Fool's before the video releases. Potentially. The reason why this has been deleted is to make room for all of this other stuff in here. Is Kara going to show up? Yes. Kara shows up a lot in True Pacifist. Just not in the way that everybody thinks. Because the crystals won't be massive, there would also be tiny gems in the walls. Oh yeah, trust me, I've got those. Here we've got Undyne's house in a nice area that's surrounded by a little bit of flowers. Undyne's house looks really cool with textures on. House looks cool. Where's the dummy? The dummy is not there yet. I'm just making sure that I have a good model for it. But if I don't, then I'm just going to throw the normal model I have in for the dummy there, which it's still okay. I'm just trying to get a better one. But all these little cards here, those are all like grass and things. How do you model so good? A bit of practice. I can only model certain things good, but here's the hub near Undyne's place, and this is cool. This is where I'm kind of getting the idea for, you know, like the bit that I was on about with the bridges and everything and what could be down below. Did you get music? Is that music figured out? And the only reason I say music with a question mark there is because of the love heart that's in the side of chat for YouTube. I've not got music figured out yet. I don't know whether I'm going to try and get somebody in to, you know, try and help with that or what, or whether I'm just going to use the official stuff. It'd be cool to try and work with somebody, but I know they'll probably ask for money, and it's just like, oh no, because I don't have any money anymore. I literally just gave the rest of the money that I have to one of the artists from the community to make a ton more models for this project. I'm literally going to have spent over, like, I think 300 on this project when I get all those models. So that was basically all the money that I'd already been donated to me from stream. So, yeah, I can't exactly turn around and be like, yeah, I'm going to use money to get music and stuff. But at least I'm giving back to the community. Also, those models hopefully will be available in VR chat eventually, because that's basically part of the whole idea. So expect a lot more new and obscure Undertale characters in VR chat available. Then we've got, like I was saying, the hub here with the garbage dump. The garbage dump isn't here yet because I've not put it in at the moment. But in this section, the cool bit that I like about this is the water here has like some lily pads in it that float on it and rotate. And we've got all the, as you can see, the water sausages and some grass around here and stuff. This is what I was thinking of at the bottom of that bridge area where Undyne chases you, just having this kind of stuff and have Undyne be on a separate bridge below. That'd be pretty cool, because then it'd show like just the height difference between her and Frisk. Can you make Frisk lay down with Napstablook? Yeah, I want to do that. Just one more. Will the duck who carries you over? Yeah, I want to be accurate with this, so I want the duck in. I'm going to need to get a duck model for that, but it's all good. Then we got Napstablook's house and Metaton's house. Those are slightly different in terms of the way that they are at each side. Napstablook's is a little bit more overgrown here with a lot more crystal flowers and grass and some other crystals behind. And then the same with Metaton's. Metaton's is a little bit more neater and has some pink crystals behind it. Hey Sammy, just talking about ideas again. This area though is kind of what I'm imagining a little bit of the terrain to look like for the chase with Undyne. You know, with stuff on the ceiling, we get a couple of crystals here and there, and then we've got some of the foliage if we want, but just like this giant area that we run through. Move says, the only question would we have to wait 5 minutes with Napstablook sitting there? No. I imagine like only say like 10 or 15 seconds and then it kicks in. You know, because you'd make people wait too long if I did like 5 minutes of actual footage. I could do the 5 minutes as a joke or something for like a separate video. Like here's an outtake of what we're actually doing, and it's just an entire camera crew just filming Napstablook and Frisk for like 5 minutes before the crazy universe stuff kicks in. Oh, here we go. So this is the bit with Gerson. It doesn't take 5 minutes though. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't, but It feels like it. Can Sans from Sir Pello's underpants be in it as an April Fool's joke? Maybe? Could you do something with the camera to make it seem like 5 minutes? Could probably add like a clock on screen or something and show the clock, just like fast forwarding. Is the bit where you meet Gerson. That's pretty cool, all the stalactites and crystals in and everything, and then all the mini crystals that are all over the place. I need to double check that later because there are actually a ton of mini crystals in here, or there should be. I don't know whether that's been edited or not since. If it has, I'm going to have to go back in there and edit that. Then down here is where we have the river person. The river person has a ton of little crystals around here and stuff, and then it's going to be cool to see this area. But again, this is kind of like what I imagined the base area for Undyne's Chase to be like, where you've got the river down below or water with stuff on it, and then you've got Undyne having to like jump up different bits of scenery to get to you. But yeah, the river person will be in. I have a model for that now. I've made that myself. Yeah, the amalgamates and the True Lab, I've got those. I've got those done. Let's see. Where's the river person so I can show people? There we go. So this is based off some artwork that I found, which I think might be in here. No. I can open another file for it, but yeah, the river person's here. I like the floating hands and everything. I still need to give them a lantern. That's going to be cool to see. Might give that to somebody at some point and be like, quick, VR chat this, please. Because I do like that. But yeah, it's like I was saying before, while I was doing this, as long as I can get that chase with Undyne figured out, like how I want it to look, then Waterfall will come out, like pretty much all be done by the end of this month, which will allow me to take it easy for a little bit and focus on actual animating after that, which is really cool. And getting back to the voice actors and being like, hey, who's got the lines still that I need to actually grab off them? So fun times ahead for another Immersiontale update where we have some silly shenanigans and then have everybody in the community be like, wait, what's going on here? Let's just pull that out there a little bit. Just trying to shape this into a proper rock face, or at least look a little bit better. I almost feel like the river person's robes need to be a tad darker. I can do that, although I can do that with lighting as well, because the lighting really does make things look dark. I can't wait for the trailer. I mean, I've still got the old one. For anyone who's seen the trailer, I'll pull it up again, but you put the amalgamate battle music in. I want to put as much stuff from the game as I can in. You know, I want to be as faithful as possible to try and make this the best it can be. I'm going to put the trailer on. For anyone who's seen it like 20 times by now, you might not want to see it. It's up to you. It's an old one now. Yeah, I can't wait to do the new trailer. The new trailer's where it's at the moment. The new trailer is going to kick this one like completely out of the water. Right, so enjoy. Just need to make sure I've got this window up here. There we go. Right. I'll move out the way. Enjoy.
私の友人手放せない私たちのハッピーエンドまで最大の課題先にあります世界の運命は異なります 「
So I gotta answer a couple of things in chat now. Is that me? Hey everyone. So yeah, the theme is the only thing that's in like pseudo Japanese at the moment. I'm just gonna turn the browser off just so I can get rid of that. Certified Hood Classic. Wait, I didn't turn the browser off. God damn it. Hang on, give me a sec. It's like totally not vanishing here. There we go. We're back. I know I need to just make sure that everything is fine here. And then I need to bring out the dock again so I can actually have chat in it. And then I can answer chat. Because there are some things in chat that I noticed that really need addressing. That'll be fun for everyone. Will gas is Ruby in the movie? I've already skipped that at the moment. As in, like, I've not put that bit in for the time being, primarily. I just forgot it. I forgot it. Which was crazy because I was busy doing everything else here. I could put it in at any other point in Waterfall. I'd probably just cut it in. You know, it'd work that way, but I haven't physically modeled that at the moment. The only other thing that I was thinking of doing was just having the door just be ominously in the background at some point. It doesn't need to be even be in the same wall. It can just be there, you know, as a reference. As for, like, certain comments, yeah, when I was doing tutorial clapping, I was trying to make her look like every stereotypical anime mum or mum-style character. I ended up using for reference for the motion, I think it was Shura from that time I was reincarnated as a slime. Not Shura, Shuna, sorry. Because she does claps like that at some point, and I was like, okay, this makes sense for tutorial. It's a lot of kind of like thinking how the characters would move and what really works with the personalities and stuff and what makes them look cute and look cool, and then kind of working that in and being like, okay, does that work? Yeah, okay. The spider and the donut, yeah, the spiders, I liked them being cute but slightly ominous. So yeah. Skyward says, I gotta go. Great as always. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Skyward. I just joined and it's not. No. The stream's still going. But yeah, one pose and style of movement doesn't match with all characters. Yeah, it's like the best way I can describe it is when you look at all the characters, you have to take into account their personality and what they're like in that specific scene, and then be like, okay, does this fit? And at that point specifically, Toriel's trying to teach you like a mum, and she's very sort of like doting, she's very protective, but she's also very happy when you follow what she's saying and don't stray too far from it, because it's almost like you're learning from her. So of course she's going to show some sort of love and affection for that. So that's where I got that from. Pretty cool. The spiders, though, I wanted the spiders to look cute, even though, you know, everybody hates spiders. I was like, yeah, everybody hates them, and sure, it's not exactly the best thing, but it's like, having the spiders be cute because of the fact that they're running a bake sale makes sense. It's the same with, like, a lot of the attacks and stuff. A lot of the attacks, or the actual battles that you play, especially in True Pacifist, when you actually think about what's wrote on the text board for the game, or what's in the, you know, like the projectile battle box, and what's actually going on properly when you're reading it, some of it doesn't match up. Like, not all the characters have projectile attacks, you know. Not everybody's going to be like Frogget, who just spits like random amounts of flies at you, you know. A lot of these other ones literally can, like with Napstablook, he's not going to have projectile, or they're not going to have projectile tears that just come flying at you that you have to dodge. It's more so that, like, the amount that Napstablook is crying is potentially filling up the room that you're in to the point where you're afraid of drowning, you know. So it's not all a case of, like, sticking totally to the bullet box, but it's trying to take all the text and what happens in game and joining it together for it to make sense and be exactly what people kind of expect. you know. I don't care if it's a skill issue, but Muffet is still Muffet is the hardest boss. Yeah. Like, Alphys isn't going to burst through the door on Undyne. Yeah. Sans is very reserved. Like, a neat thing with the skeletons actually is a lot of animations will do them in such a way that they're very expressive, you know. But the whole thing of, outside of, like, subtle movements with the eyes, and by that I mean literally just, like, which way they're looking more than anything else, and maybe the fact that Papyrus has some more over-exaggerated features, Sans doesn't move as much, nowhere near as much. He'll have some, like, more emotional moments where he moves, but a lot of the time, unless he's pointing to something or emphasizing a certain issue, his hands are just inside his pockets and he's busy just chilling out. You know, a lot of that is just him sort of looking around, and I've already done, like, tests for that where you can kind of see where I was going with it, including the one that I keep showing off in the Judgment Hall. But yeah, it's basically character research, as in, like, not so much doing research for the actual character and what they look like, but more character research as in, like, the personality, like, how that would affect the movement and things. And I'm not sure whether everybody thinks about that too much, but for this kind of thing, where I'm trying to make it as detailed and accurate as possible, you know, to really sort of make the characters a lot more likable and true to what everybody thinks they're like. By doing stuff like that, it really helps. You know. Even when Papyrus is electrocuted, he just goes on as usual. Yeah, with Papyrus, I take the approach of having Papyrus be like old Looney Tunes style animation. And by that I mean, like, if you've ever seen stuff like Roadrunner, or you know, like Tom and Jerry, or even like Bugs Bunny, where they have like certain things to them that make you go, okay, that's definitely a Looney Tunes feature. Like, maybe it's, you know, the way that they over-exaggerate certain movements. Maybe it's the way that some of their expressions are a bit more larger than others. Just having Papyrus animate like that and be unique in the fact that he's the only one that animates like that really does make him stand out. Especially compared to Sans, who doesn't do anything like that. You know, I don't know whether I mentioned it before, but yeah, the skeletons do not blink either. They don't have eyelids, so they can't blink. So, the Skeleton Brothers, you will not see them blinking the entire film. Which is a neat little detail. It sounds totally stupid, and it's a really nerdy kind of thing to get excited over, but it's a detail that's there for a reason, you know. It makes a lot of sense. It's just like, yeah, that's cool, you know. But Sans can wink. Ooh, maybe. When does he actually wink? I'm trying to remember what he does. Winks just to prove a point. I'm trying to remember. He winks at the lamp. Oh, yeah. What did I do for the lamp? If I remember rightly, I got around that by just, and at the hot dog stand, yeah. Did I actually animate that? Hang on, just let me check and see whether I did. Because I'm going to check that now, because if I've inconsistently done that, it has me like, wait, what? Check. Let's go. Snowden. There we go. Forest with Sans. Snowden Forest 2. Let's try. Snowden Forest 2 will load up where I got the trailer footage from. Okay, let's see. Oh no, that literally is walking and meeting Sans. Okay, so where's the other bits of Snowden Forest then? Snowden. Wood search transition. Ah, there we go. Let's try that one, because that's the one with the lamp there. When he gets tired. Oh yeah, when he falls asleep, but that's in the genocide one. Right, let's see. I've got the file for this up here now. Oh, there we go. This lamp's really cool. Okay. Let me just see this for a moment. I'm so close to it. I'm just like playing this in the background just to see. Maybe this lamp will help you. All you do is sit and boondoggle, blah blah blah. Hey, take it easy. Wait, isn't it when he winks when he says maybe this lamp will help you? There you go. So much. It sounds like you're working yourself down to the bone. Okay, there we go. Hang on. Oh, I have made him blink. I have made him blink. It must just be I've let him have that as his own little thing. Because I know Papyrus doesn't. So I must have let Sans run that rule completely because it doesn't apply to him. I must just have turned around and gone, it's Sans. It's Sans. Sans can just do it, you know. I know Papyrus doesn't blink. No one will care because it's Sans. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Papyrus sticks to the rules of the universe. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was just double checking. I can easily pull up the animation files. So like then I was just like, did I do that? I swear I was so happy when I did it about being able to be like, oh yeah, I'm sticking to this rule, you know. You give the characters the rules, they should stick to them, and instead it's just like, yeah, nah, Sans just blows those rules completely out of the water. No rules? What rules? Wait, Dave, says Sammy, what's up? Oh, no, I have not forgot about when Papyrus breaks gravity. We were on about this recently. I said I could joke and just have it be like something really crazy. Like have him do a massive like flip or something that completely defies gravity and have Frisk just like watching as he goes over the top. I even said I should do a Power Rangers style reference for it was the you know, because I thought that would be quite hilarious. Whereas I'm trying to figure out how they've cut it. Where is it? There's a specific cut to Power Rangers where you can just tell it's so stupid, but it's funny at the same time when you notice it. It's like, dude, what? Oh, I can't find it here, and I don't want to risk getting copyright striked. What I mean is like, basically, they have a certain shot that they do with tokusatsu, which is the genre for TV, but they have like the jump, then a cut underneath where you can see the person doing the jump, and then another cut where the landing. So it's like 3 cuts. And I was like, maybe I should just do that and then have Sans just going, no, or just Sans and Frisk both just stood next to each other doing the whole look thing as he's going past. You know, I think that would be pretty funny. Just like, it's stuff like that that I really like because despite the story obviously having its very dark and depressing moments, I feel like a lot of it is light-hearted sense of humor put in between, and we get that through text as well. But the fun thing is actually being able to imagine stuff like that and just being like, you know what, this just works. This works in this setting. Let's just do it. You know, I feel like the lightheartedness does fit in with it. Not as much with the genocide run, obviously, because the genocide run has a lot more stakes going on, or rather, there's a lot more sort of nasty, depressing stuff going on. Whereas, even though there's really sort of depressing and kind of dark stuff in the True Pacifist run, it's like there are moments where the monsters shine through and they become likable, and you get to like them more as characters, and it makes them endearing, which is why so many people like them. You know, rather than it just being, oh, it's that wacky skeleton guy from that game. You know, instead, there's got to be something that you like about their character to make them endearing. You know, which is why I think it's going to be fun to include more stuff like that, because it's going to have to be like a unique blend of it, and by that I mean I'm going to have to be really careful with how much I really lay on that kind of stuff. But I think it also depends on the area that you're in. Like, I wouldn't do anything that's totally light-hearted in, say, like, Waterfall, where a lot of Waterfall is that kind of, like, menacing sort of foreboding atmosphere with a little bit of melancholy and depression mixed in. It's kind of relaxing, but kind of isn't. You know, you wouldn't have that kind of moment in Waterfall. But definitely in Snowden. I figure, like, Snowden is definitely that kind of an area to pull off some of the funny stuff. Before then, everything starts getting more serious, where you'll start having, like, more serious stuff in Waterfall, then Hotland, then obviously at the end. And yeah, I definitely feel like out of everywhere, Snowden's the one area where you can actually pull that stuff off and it makes sense. You know. Because Snowden's got such a good mood compared to everywhere else. Despite the monsters also there being like, yeah, we keep smiling because that gets rid of all the problems we have at the moment. It's like, yeah, apart from that, Snowden still has a good vibe to it, which is why I think a lot of people enjoy it. You know, especially its theme is even upbeat, like really upbeat. So it's like, just making it make sense in the different parts of the underground will be good, you know. As long as I get it right and I don't mess that up, then should be fine. And admittedly, the game does a lot of that for us in terms of setting up the tone for each area, so it's not too hard to avoid, I don't think. Could be wrong, but try and bring this out a little bit here, just so it stands out a little bit. Snowden's special. Everything, the mood, the music, the characters. Would totally live for there to be habitable, excuse me, tongue twister. Habitable sectors. Yeah, it's like Honeydew Resort from Yellow. Honeydew Resort's actually pretty cool. But it's like, adding stuff like that in is going to be interesting as well because of me not physically adding the resort in, but adding in references because of people asking me since Yellow's released to be like, dude, do this, do that. And I think I mentioned it already. I've got ideas that will subtly hint to Yellow being a thing, while also not breaking canon too much, you know. It's going to be fun to at least add some references, like signs for places, like for instance Snowden, and then Honeydew Resort pointing off into some random bit, or Marlet's house this way. And then have, like, in Hotland, just another sign that says Alphys's lab, the Steamworks, new home, pointing upwards. You know. Like the Snowden. Yeah, it's... I can't wait for these new characters, man. Like, the new characters are what's got me excited the most, because out of everything, if you've been watching, like, all these videos that I've been doing, you'll know that I made a key point at the beginning of saying, look, I need as much help as possible with this, and I need as many of the characters as possible, because if I don't get a lot of the characters, then what's going to happen is the underground is literally going to look as though it's empty, you know, as though there's nobody there, because a lot of animations didn't use all the character models back in the, you know, like 5-7 years ago when Undertale was a big thing. And that's because they just weren't available. People hadn't made them yet. So having access to more models, or even just paying people, you know, to make them, that's made me really happy at the moment, because it means that in the background I'm not going to have issues with things like older animations did, where they didn't have characters. Instead, I'm going to actually have like Catty and Bratty walking around and things like that. It's going to be so cool. I'm really excited about that, because it means it'll feel more like the underground than a lot of the other animations that just had to work with what they had at the time. You know, which gives me a lot of an edge. Frisk picks up cowboy hat, names his Clover, blatantly stitch into it. Yeah, subtle hints like that. You know, picks up cowboy hat and has Clover's name in it, and then everybody in the crowd, meanwhile, all the seats are just like this, whereas I gotta find the meme for it first. There's a meme for it. Everyone in the audience is like this. Where is it? It's like, hey, I know that reference. I got that. You know. Everybody's like, oh my god, it's that reference. That's kind of what I'm aiming for with subtle things like that. You know, it's like, oh, I see what he did there. You know, that's really cool. That's what I'm aiming for with things like that. I forgot I didn't have Asriel on here for the moment. Let's see. There's so many side characters people don't even bat an eyelid at. Yeah, like when you go back and look at a lot of the older animations that are 3D and are done in like either Source Filmmaker or something else, you'll notice there are a lot of them specifically focus on Papyrus, Frisk, and Sans. And it's not just because I think the popular characters, I think it's also because they were some of the easiest models to get at the time. You know, I feel like if you go back in time far enough, you'll probably find people posting saying, oh, I want this model, I want that model. You know, why hasn't it been done yet? You know, but sometimes you can't get models, especially if you just want to animate and somebody's not made them. So instead, you've got to work with what you have. And that can be upsetting when, you know, you try to make something look good. So you try and camouflage things by then being like, okay, we'll film Snowden out at night, not at night. We'll film Snowden during the day, but we'll just make it look as though there's not really many people around or whatever. You know. Everyone's a model of politics bear. Oh god. I wish I could put politics bear in. That's one of the ones that I can't, because obviously I don't have enough money. If I had enough money, I'd just keep paying the person that I'm already working with or collabing with at the moment. And I'd just be like, dude, you're just making all of this stuff now. The community wants you to do this. You know. That'd be so funny. But like I was saying before, I'm already using like 300 of my own money to pay for 8 new characters, I think it is. So yeah, specifically the 8 new characters that I'm going to be getting done. One of them I can't mention because it's a spoiler, and it replaces one of the other more canon events. It's still related to Undertale, but I'm not going to mention anything about that. But in particular, the characters that I have at the moment on order, outside of this special one, of which I've already got somebody doing the lines for, is Fish Receptionist, Catty and Bratty, Gerson, Lauren, which is the character that says, "What's a star? Are you a star? Can you kill it?" Whimsalot and Night Night, because what that'll do is that'll fill out multiple areas of Waterfall with more characters. And then what I can do is, because there's not too many characters in Waterfall, I can bring over other ones like Frogget. I think that makes sense to have Frogget be in Waterfall. I don't have Aaron, unfortunately. I would like Aaron to be there, but we can still at least do, or try and get away with doing Shiren's concert for her interaction, which is going to be cool. And then I'm trying to think of what other monsters appear in Waterfall, because there's not too many outside of Undyne chasing you. It's mainly Aaron, Temmie, Washua. Washua I've got models of. You talk to Gerson, because Gerson has a shop. You're mainly running from Undyne, then you run into Napsterbluke. And then again, it's just these other characters that you interact with along the way, but it's mainly, for the most part, Washua and Aaron that you run into. Quite a lot. You know. Moldsmall and Moldybug, yeah. I remember Moldsmall. No Aaron, whatever will we do? It's like I don't have Jerry either, but nobody's crying over Jerry. I feel you, man, except with the music. Yeah, it's like... It's that whole thing of like, I can't just turn around and try and fund everything myself, which is unfortunate, and I'm not going to turn around to the community now and be like, fund this project, because I just think that if I can try and get as much of it done without having to go crowdfunding it, then that's going to be great, especially because the last time I tried a crowdfunding thing, it was successful, but from another standpoint it wasn't. I think I've explained it, but to be as clear and honest with you as possible, I did a crowdfund or a crowd raiser for another project that I did before this, and it went really well. The only problems with it was that immediately after I'd done the crowdfunding, we got like new PCs in because I was working with another person at the time, and the idea was that they would work with me and help complete the project. And what ended up happening was they instead ended up using that computer to then practice work and got a job in the industry, in the video games industry. And because of the way that contracts work in the video games industry, what ended up happening was they weren't allowed to work on anything else, even their own private work, because essentially the boss could then turn around and be like, whatever you're working on, we want to use those ideas. You know, so it ended up being a case of we got the funding, everything was great, and then it fell apart really quick. So it ended up with me looking like a really bad person, you know, because even though I'm sat there and I told this to this guy saying like, look, it's going to be great if we can both do this together. It's going to be like a big animation thing. It's going to be practice for us for doing 3D. So we're going to progress with that. It's going to be really cool and a neat way of telling the story in 3D and showing off all the character emotion and stuff up close. I said, as long as we've got both of us working on everything and we don't stop, and we continue to show everyone that we're doing progress and we're as honest and open with everybody as possible, this project can't fail. What I didn't account for was it failing that way. You know, so I've not been happy about mentioning anything to do with money ever since. And this was only, like, in 2018, it was that I did that. So it wasn't too long ago, or rather it was crowdfunded by 2018. I started in, I think it was about 2016. So yeah, that one went downhill fast, and I've never liked talking about money to do with projects ever since, because it put me off. It put me right off, because I just did not like what happened with that one. I'm sat there thinking to myself, I just want to be nice and get something done, and it'll be cool as a project and everything, and we can enjoy ourselves, and it's nice to actually see that people want to help out like that. It's amazing, and everything was working how I wanted it to up until that bit, and it was just like, dude, this is a major problem here. It's almost like a betrayal of sorts. You know, I can't do anything about it. This is just going to make me look like a bad person. So I I try and stay away from that stuff if I can now. It's just not cool, you know. It's like, it's why funding this out of my own pocket is so important to me as well, because like I've already had that go wrong, and no joke, I just hate the whole idea of like, one of the things that I said to people when I was doing that crowdfunding was like, this will be good because, you know, it'll help out with the project and everything, because at the time we didn't have computers that were powerful enough to do stuff, because Unreal Engine 4 was just coming in, and I was like, we can do this in like Unreal Engine, it'll look really cool, and the intention was never to just take money from people and just look like we'd ran with it. And sure enough, by the end of it, there's just me working on basically PR stuff and some 3D, and it made me look terrible, you know. And I felt like I'd just stolen from people when I know I hadn't. It just made me feel really guilty, because I'm sat there going, oh yeah, this is going to be great, and then it just totally fell apart, you know. Worst thing ever. I still get wound up and sad over that entire thing, because it's just like, dude, there's not much I could do about it, and it just made me look like a giant criminal, you know. There's nothing worse than promising something, not being able to fulfill it, and then looking like a criminal at the end of the day. That was the worst thing ever that's happened to me project-wise. Next to getting death threats and getting DDoSed. And then having my job threatened as well. And that was for the same project. This is why I'm so happy with this one, because it's got a lot less issues going on with it, you know. It's like, dude, I'll just make a cool Undertale animation, it's all good. It's also why, you know, like when I'm talking to people, I also keep on trying to make sure I constantly tell people exactly what I'm thinking and what I mean by things, because there are so many times where you can say something and you mean it lightheartedly, and then everybody else will take it differently. You know, you could mean something else, and because of how you say something, or just because you feel a little bit more relaxed at a certain point with how you're speaking to somebody, you're like, oh yeah, whatever, you know, you say something, and it to you it sounds alright, but then somebody else, it's like, wait, what? That's what has me constantly sort of checking myself and being like, no, 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 this is what I mean, this is what I mean, you know. Because I think I got way too relaxed with talking just randomly to people ages ago. It was just like, yeah, I'm all good and stuff, and then next minute I'm saying stuff and people are like, dude, what? I'm like, oh no. The curse of being British. It's just annoying having to clarify everything over and over and over. Just be like, no, this is what I mean. I don't mean any offense by any of this. I'm not bad, you know. The problem is it makes me look like a nervous wreck as well, or an anxious nervous wreck when I'm confirming everything with people, where I'm just like, no, 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 I meant this, and people are like, dude, chill, chill. I'm like, no, I kind of am chill. I just need to confirm this with you. You know. That's why I'm careful, Dave, since I can get screwed with some of the stuff I say. Yeah, it's why a lot of the stuff you hear me say on stream, I'll just be like, dude, I'm joking. You know. Like, that's the problem with a lot of things nowadays, is context is key for everything, and people can just change your context really fast, even if they don't have any proof that you said something else. They can just be like, oh no, you meant this, and I'm like, no, 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 I really didn't. You know. So yeah, it's that project definitely made me a little bit more kind of cautious, a little bit more weary about a lot of things, including how I approach people, you know. let's bring this out here. Oh no, wait, no, not bring it out. We'll bring it back. Yeah. Like in some of the very first streams I did, you hear me turn around and be like, look, I just want to talk to people that like video games and like similar things. I'm all chill. I don't mean any offense by anything I say. I'm joking. Do not take anything I say seriously. You know, but even then you gotta worry, so... Or rather, you can't help but worry because of certain people taking it the wrong way. It's just like, dude, no. I just want to enjoy stuff. The way that I described it was like water cooler talk. Where it'd be like, dude, I'm just hanging out with people. You know, it's all good. Has to be the most chill environment ever. Otherwise, I can't relax. And when I'm not relaxed, then that's worrying. Battle music, man. For Inside the Steamworks. Do 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 do. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing alright in chat either way. Oh, let's do this. Try and bring that out there a little bit, and then we'll just... No, it's fine, man, it's fine. It's fine, I knew you were joking, Darren. I think I even mentioned it in the stream where I was like, dude, I know you're joking. But yeah, I do know people will try and be crazy. It also helps with knowing the demographic shift in my my viewers. It's like I gotta be a little bit careful. Hey, Sammy. Looks like a worm. Oh yes, it does look like a worm. Hey, Siri. God damn it. Siri's like, you said worm. I'm like, what now? Okay, let's do that. That's not gonna look too bad. Let's see it from there. Because I'm gonna put smoothing on this anyway, and then redo the UVs. Hey, Alvin. Oh no. I was crazy once, and then they locked me in a room with game theory. Theories drive me crazy. I'm just trying to think of different ways that I could edit that. You know, that whole rubber room with rats meme, but with game theory stuff in it. I was in a meme with MatPat Worlds. And memes drive me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. And then they put me in a room with MatPat. And MatPat drives me crazy. Nah. We joking again. We joking. R.I.P. Sweet Prince. I have already secured your role in Immersiontale. And by that, I don't actually mean he has a role. He has lots of memes and jokes dedicated to game theory. Light-hearted ones. How's your day going, Dave? it's alright, you know. I'm just trying to get more of these areas done. Like, I'm up to the point of basically getting these areas ready to be lit and done with scenery. It's just more a case of figuring out the final geometry in this room, which is what I'm working on now, and then the next one with Undyne's Chase. So is Matt putting Immersiontale? No. Let's put it this way, right? I'll explain it properly. Matt Pat isn't in Immersiontale properly. He's not got any lines or anything, even though I would like him to. That would be hilarious. I could try even messaging him if you really want me to for a laugh. You know, see if he can do anything. That would be absolutely hilarious. Or I can just take part of it and have it on in Alphys's lab. You know. But he has jokes dedicated to him in Immersiontale. Some of them are scattered throughout Hotland. So yeah, I figure even if like, say for instance, I don't use Matt's voice or anything, there's at least already jokes that are in there that reference him. You know, because of the whole thing that happened with Sans being Ness. You know, that was ages ago by now, but he's in there at least, just for the giggles. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not meant to be offensive. It's not meant to upset anybody because it's not canon, you know. It's just, he's in there just for the sake of it, just for a few giggles. Tobias L. YouTuber says, hello! Hello there, how are you doing? Is that Matthew Patthew from the Game Theorists? I love the way somebody said that a while ago. It's like, wait, what? Love this music from Yellow. It's the Greenhouse tune, if I remember rightly, but it's spooky but nice at the same time. Is the best way of describing it. Try and not get filtered by Axis again at some point. Like, Dave, you need to complete Yellow. I'm like, I know. I downloaded the patched version 1.1 so I could see whether that makes Axis's fight any easier, but apparently I need some, like, goggles or something to beat him as well. I'm sorry, Tobias, I don't speak Spanish. No hablas español. I only literally know a little bit of Spanish from high school. It looks like it came in handy. That's a good. That's a good few years ago. So wait, Dave, you can speak Spanish? It's like, no. I love ambulance alerts, or whatever they're called as memes. Wait, what? It's okay, Tobias. It's okay. You don't need to say sorry. In Canada, we're under a huge cold drop leading to high risk of power outages. Oh, sorry to hear that, memes. Let's do this, and then we'll pull this out a little bit. Dude, this might actually be working decently here. Hang on. I actually just realized I should have said Habla instead of Hablas because that's wrong, I believe. Will John Cena fight Asgore? What, you just want John Cena to pop his head through the wall when Asgore's like, it's okay, we don't want to hurt anyone, and just be like, are you sure? Looks at the other 6 dead children. Asgore, you sure though, dude? You feeling good? Are you playing a game? No, I'm making Undertale in 3D as a movie. That moment where Toriel's like, I don't want to hurt you, child. Just listen to me. It's for your own good. And then moment John Cena pops through the wall is like, are you sure? Next moment shows the bit where Toriel accidentally kills Frisk. Toriel, what are you doing? Everything's fine until John Cena pops in and threatens to elbow drop you through a table. Don't tell me we need the trailer. No. And before I actually make some of these memes part of the actual ending trailer, you know, because like Toby has 3D Toriel, which I actually do still want for the final trailer for a laugh. Look at all this immersive 3D technology, just shows cursed Toriel. Like, is this canon now, Toby? That's what I said in the previous update for a laugh. I was like, I don't know whether anybody actually noticed that line after where Cursed Toriel's raid came in. It was like, is this canon, Toby? What now? It was so funny. Right, let's try and pull this in a little bit. About there. Axis, man. Oh, even this music is getting me wound up. So I keep getting filtered. For a month, I finally saved. Oh, nice. Minus 34. Jesus. My furnace be on maximum overdrive. Maximum overdrive. Seriously? Go be the robot. No, he keeps filtering me. I don't have the goggles or whatever else everybody's used to beat him, so he just keeps filtering me. Go be the robot. But I'm working on stuff. Stop picking on me. Go be the robot. No! Stop picking on me! I'll beat him at my own pace when I'm not feeling like I need to get lots of stuff done. Yes! Ask Will, there's 2 Undertale movies. There's a normal one and one with 3D that needs 3D glasses. Oh god, imagine if I did like a 3D one where like Papyrus pops out the screen or something. Go beat him the robot, his silly generators. He's annoying me, man. Like, I know I had a lot of patience and everything for True Pacifist, which helped when I first beat it. But Axis is really pushing it now, and it's just like, oh no, because I don't like that feeling. That would scare me, to be honest. What, Papyrus jumping out the screen? You have to launch the funny plasma orbs at the generators. Yeah, I know that. It's more just... It's the stupid orange and blue things. It's... What was happening the other day was my eyes were getting distracted as well. And by that I mean, like, I don't know whether you've... Like, any of you have had it, but, like... I know I get it when some games are visually complicated or my attention is just all over the place because of my undiagnosed ADHD that I think I have. But like, I'll be looking at something and my brain will be like, ooh, that's pretty. And then when I try and focus on something else, it just will not happen. And my brain, you could hear me say it at one point in that fight. I was just like, dude, I can't concentrate here. This is just, I'm all over the place. Oh, I know blue means stop and orange means go, but like, even when you watch, like, I'm trying to keep up with that and it's just, I know you're just quoting it now. God damn it. Oh, stop quoting Sans. God damn it, memes, stop picking on me. It's 2 in the morning. And no, I don't need to go to sleep. I slept before. I went to bed early, got up at 5 a.m., had my day out, got back, slept from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m., and now I'm not sleepy, so I should be at least awake till like 4 or something. Sans isn't real. No! Dude, this music, man, it's so good, but it's spoilers. So now I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the OST again. Right, let's put smoothing on this. And then we go 45? 60? Come on, give me this. 70. Hey! No, at least that looks a little bit better like that. Music's so good. I wonder whether I can get away with that because of how I mapped this before. Actually looks like I have. Just surprising. Dude, I'm happy with that. Sans isn't real, Ness isn't real, Mappa isn't real, no! 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 R.I.P. Sweet Prince. You've bamboozled me for at least 13 years, and I don't even know if it's a theory anymore. A game theory. I need to do that Leonardo DiCaprio meme I showed before, but it's just Matt and Pat's head instead on Leo's body. That would be so funny. Right, where's Frisk here? Frisk, where you at? There we go. Excuse me. Moody, you should binge this theory on the Immersiontale Discord. Oh, just go on Game Theory and just binge all of it. I don't know what to comment, Sister Bias. It's fine, it's fine. You should watch every single one. Dude, my freaking search history is just going to end up as just MatPat. Can we just have, like, the MatPat out of context ones? Where is it? Go and find some random MatPat out of context to throw up here for a moment. Wait, what? There's the Ender Dragon one? No, no. Wait, why is the one from 4 months ago? Trust me, I didn't look at me, I'm fine. Yeah, but like, for instance, you should not watch all of this video, but what you should do is at least enjoy part of it. We go here and we go. Bam. Right? MatPat out of context.
Shadow Bonnie is actually Darkiplier. I'm so stupid.
A storm is coming. Cute talking animals, a positive message of social acceptance, crack cocaine.
No one's looking for a killer when they already have one locked up.
Also, I'm Dream's father. Can someone explain?
What the hell?
Explain to me whether gay jalapeno is to the left or right of literal piece of human fecal matter.
You are
What? What even is this? What the hell?
the genius in our batch.
No fear, no anxiety, no social pressure anywhere. Going back to the game, we're gonna have to get toe dead.
I just want to boop your nose.
I go by many names. Phone guy, Mad Pat, Scott Cawthon. Also, just a good story about thinking about your damn wishes before you make them. Anyway, back in Hermit Crab, Ash Ketchum, Bart Simpson, Gohan, and Popeye would all be girls. But if
What? No, I can't. I'll end up watching this video and then I'll just have brain rot again. And just go watch Jim Picks' video there, right? I do this all the time. Jim Picks down here, right? At the bottom of the page. Go watch. Gonna get freaking clipped there. He's even got a Megalovania thing from 9 months ago. Megalovania remix. Go watch Jim Picks' stuff for Matt Pat, because, you know, show some love and support. You know, but, oh my god. I don't even... That moment where you come onto somebody's channel and they have a Megalovania remix, that's basically a meme at this point. Oh. Matt doing crack cocaine. What? I don't even. Everything's fine as long as you don't say Matt Pat 3 times. He'll appear to you in your sleep and just be like, hey there, I need a theory. Jeez, no, Matt, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I didn't say anything. Really isn't working on Immersiontale a form of brain rot? I mean, I'm not quite sure. I just like to have a laugh with people. I like making people laugh, but I also have a tendency to impact people in the most interesting of ways. Interesting in quotation marks. This always happens. I meet people. They're crazy. I'm crazy. We bounce off each other. Everybody ends up twice as crazy at least. Nothing gets done. Right. If I do this just as an idea of how that's gonna look. People act as though Matt Pat's dead. I mean, he might as well be David. Nah, it's... What the hell did I just come back to? Oh, we just had a laugh watching some Matt Pat out of context for a moment, just for a meme. The one thing that I don't agree with was recently, you know, it's a thing. YouTube has set their own deadlines, right? But there's things that you should say and things that you shouldn't say, especially when people are like leaving YouTube and you want to be at least a little bit graceful and cautious, you know, like you don't want to come across as a complete douchebag. And recently, I'm looking at Matt's stuff and I'm like, yeah, I could always just watch Matt's stuff out of context just for a laugh. Oh god, that's literally gonna have to be a montage clip thing of walking up there and then potentially like zooming over here. I heard douchebag, so I'm here to ask this guy. No, but like the other day, I was on about it just. I was watching a video. I happened to unfortunately catch a video by Philly D or Philip DeFranco. I don't like his videos at all, just because they seem to be pretty meh in terms of content. They're not for me really, but I accidentally clicked on one and he's on about Matt. And he turns around and he says, oh yeah, you know, Matt's complaining about all this stuff, saying like, oh no, he just wants to go with his wife and kids and he wants to get away from the work and everything. It's like, yeah, he said that. And Phil tries to spin it in, so it's a little bit on him and goes, oh yeah, I want to do that too. I want to get away from work and everything else like that, but that's on me, you know. And I'm like, okay, where are you going with this, Phil? And then he turns around and goes, So anyway, the problem is MatPat, because basically MatPat was the one that came up with his own deadlines and schedules and stuff. He didn't have to grind that hard, but he chose to, and it's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, there's a way of saying it and not sounding like a douchebag, right? You know, like, maybe, Matt, you could have taken more time off, or, you know, spent a little bit more time with family, but I understand the grind and everything, because YouTube's hard, and to be successful on YouTube is hard. But instead, no, it's like, nah, it's just the dude's fault. Yeah, it's the dude's fault, it's all him. He only has himself to blame. It's like, dude, that is harsh. It's not called for. You know. Just a guy that's jealous for someone more successful. Yeah, I think it probably is, because, like, Philly D's just a news guy. He's never been that good either, you know. It's like, I've never found him personally interesting, and he always does sensationalist crap. It's like, what's the clickbaited article this week, you know? Hey, horses, how you doing? I'm gonna have to include, I think, some stalactites on here as well. Might just wanted to end on a high note. I can believe that the guy can afford early retirement. Why not go for it? Oh, definitely. What happened in the last year Undertale Yellow stream? I got filtered again. I got filtered because Axis keeps kicking my butt. It's massive, massive walk up this. Tobias says, goodbye. Thank you very much for sticking around, Tobias. So we go up here. On this massive walk, beat up the robot. No! No! How dare he filter? Yeah, he filtered me pretty hard. So we go up here, we go up some more. Robot bully achievement unlocked. I'm about to open this stuff on my phone and lay in bed says horses. Oh, nice! Horses, I can even ask you about what you think of the next section. You know, like 3D and stuff. That'd be cool. This bit is literally going to be the bit where you do the walk with Monster Kid. See you later, Sammy. Thank you very much for sticking around. So yeah, at this bit, this is the bit where we're going to see the castle from, like, down here. If we look up here, we can probably see the castle, or at least some light coming through the ceiling. But yeah, Sammy says, good night, y'all. Thank you very much, Sammy. Talk to you tomorrow or whatever. I want to make a meme of Puss in Boots and Death, but it's just saying, go on, be up the... Oh, I get you, dude. Dude, that's actually pretty cool, because I like that scene. Shrek 2. Actually, no, Shrek 2. I don't think it's from Shrek 2, but there is a scene in that one. Go beat up the robot. God damn it. I want to at least ask horses what they think. So horses, you know the chase with Undyne, where she chases you along the bridge stuff. How do you reckon that should look in 3D? Like, what's your imagination filling in the gaps? You know, in terms of like, how does it interpret what that area might look like? Sky says, I'd love to see you do a meme of that robot and tutorial boss of AC6 doing a 90s movie team up thing. He's got a bolt to pick with you. I've definitely got a bone to pick with, or a bolt to pick with Axis for filtering me so hard. But yeah, here's what we got so far for the area, the upper area. So if we come in here, apart from, hey Fan 2000, So if you come in through here, I need to fix these textures for this area. But we got, this area is the bit with onion sand in. This is massive. But this is pretty cool. So that's the cave for onion sand. Then we go in here, and this is the hub area where we've got down there is the piano and the artifact room. Is the piano room. And then we've got the artifact room, which will look better. I'll write out my ideas and put them in a Discord message because I'll probably exceed the limit. That's good, that's good. This is just the bare bones basics at the moment. What I'll be doing is when I go off stream is when I'll be detailing everything and fixing things like the floor being warped here. Like, that's just not how the floor looks, for obvious reasons. It's supposed to look more like this, but the texture's supposed to look tinier, so it actually looks like a texture and not a pixelated mess. But yeah, these are some rooms I did this morning. Then we've got the memory hall. When we go around here, I got to apply smoothing to that corridor there. And then we come in here, and here's where we got memory. There's a hole in the roof, which leads to the surface somewhere. We're not exactly sure where, but when we look up, that's where the light's going to be coming from. And then we're going to have the statue back there. That was an important part that was actually shown in the original trailer, so I'm going to have to film that again. Then we got the umbrella place. And then as we go around here... Excuse me. Undying fight thingy. I need opinions, horses, on the chase. You know where she chases you along the massive bridge? I'll show you. Like, just real quick, where it is on the game, just to refresh everyone's memory. Undertale Waterfall, Pacifist. Okay. Oh, wait. That moment where I turn yellow OST off and do this. Okay, memory time. Yeah. Bros needs an entire continent. Yeah, so essentially what I'm asking for is like when we go here for a moment. If I just bring up Pacifist Waterfall, right? This is what we get. Right? This area where you get chased by Undyne. Thank you very much for everyone that's blessed me there. I did not mean to shotgun sneeze down the microphone. My idea is like how to make this look and fit in 3D. Like, what does your imagination do with it to make it make sense? Because, like, for instance, here, as you can see, we've got these areas where we've got like the memory chamber, we got the artifact place, and then we got Onion Sands area, which is here, that's going to be filled with water and everything, and then stalactites and stuff. How do you think... Did that even... I didn't, because I accidentally messed that up. I don't know, it's abyss. That's the thing though, it's gotta go somewhere, right? Because if I drop that back and I say like, look, here's the 3D interpretation of everything so far. We've got Onion Sands room, you know, and then we've got the hallway with the piano and everything else in there, and then we've got we're gonna have the statue from memory here, which is halfway through Waterfall, and then we got the lead up and the walk to the section that I'm on about here, where we walk all the way up these cliffs and we go through this area that's going to have loads of water in it and waterfalls coming down and all the drips off the ceiling and everything. You know, we get all the way up to here. We go past the castle and stuff. We see Giga Sands in the background. No, I'm messing. But, you know, it's just the idea of, like, having something like this and then being like, okay, how do we do this other vast chase in 3D here? How do you guys think it would look? You know, how do you guys think it would look in 3D and make sense instead of just floating platforms? Because there's no way those platforms are floating. You know, I figure that where the darkness is, pretty much like starting my Discord message with you, sis horses. Thank you very much. I'll go check in a moment. I figure like the easiest way to describe it is wherever there's darkness in here, the easiest place to start is that. I reckon that's going to be water. I reckon this is a giant chamber filled with water. And I definitely am submitting to the idea that this is either a bunch of scaffolding sort of like things that are hanging off the walls in other areas that Frisk is running across away from Undyne, and Undyne is running on a similar thing underneath them. And then when they get to the very end, there's either like a hole in that area that then leads down into the garbage dump, or it's something similar. Because it makes sense that way, you know, instead of just being like, yeah, it's just a dark void. It's just a dark void with nothingness. Because even though that is creepy, it's like, it doesn't make too much sense. But why is the floor like that? The bridges? The bridges are part of the theme. Like, I was explaining it before. I guess it's like the area where Monster Kid falls, right? Yeah! Like, that would actually... That's a good way of looking at it, Fan2000. Just give me a sec. I'll pull up the map. Because you can always look at it from a different angle. Because, like... what we have here, where Monster Kid falls, is here. And this is an area which is basically like a giant cavern full of water and stuff. With a bunch of high up, sort of, not cliff, but high up platforms. But they actually have the supports between them. So suppose it would make more sense if it was something kind of similar to this. The thing is, it's like I've already mentioned before, but basically the OG version of Waterfall sprite sheet impacts this a lot because the OG version was supposed to be like a mine. So yeah, I figure I'm leaning way more into the whole thing of like stuff just being stuck around the walls, or like wood being nailed into the rock faces or whatever, or somehow supported into the rock faces so it can stay there, and then you can make this gigantic wooden sort of contraption that just hangs there. It's basically like doing a mine in Minecraft straight through an area that's filled with water and then be like, okay, gotta build bridges everywhere. It would have to have some supports, right? Yeah, like for instance, if I go into what I was doing before, which was the reference. We've already talked about this, but I looked at a load of like reference really early on in the stream. And it was stuff like the OG sprite sheet here, which has the mine stuff in it. Like we've even got traces of the bridge parts being a little bit different there. But then down here in the bottom right is where we have like all the stuff that was left out, including the minecart stuff. And I've been slowly trying to integrate that stuff back in. I just noticed there's a mushroom inside of a crystal there. But yeah, we were looking at that kind of stuff. And then I was saying it doesn't all have to be bridges. There can be other little bits in between. So then I started looking at things like that. And being like, okay, that's reasonable. You know, in terms of the way that it looks. You got some like wooden planks with supports and everything underneath them that lead into kind of watery areas and are supported up against the rock faces. Makes sense. You know. And then there were other bits that I really like the idea of. Like this one I really like the idea of. This one is crystals in some giant pillars, and the idea being that these are areas where they're mining the crystals out of the pillars and stuff. I think that would be kind of really cool in just this one area, because then it makes sense as to why the bridges are all kind of linked close to each other. They're linked between these pillars. Plus it gives Undyne stuff to jump off. Okay, let's see what Horses has said. Okay, interesting. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Okay, so idea maybe instead of just being one giant cavern with like the bunch of platforms, and have it as like some tunnels in there as like a claustrophobic nightmare. Oh my god, that'd be terrible, like having Undyne chasing you around in that style area. Just imagine Frisk's like running through, they think they've lost her, and then next minute she just appears out of nowhere right in front of you. It's just like, what? Maybe I can put that in at one point, you know, like have like a small section that's open that goes off this other idea, and then have the tunnels in there for a little bit, and then finish out in the open again. That'd be interesting. Kind of get a little bit more claustrophobic before it ends up in the garbage dump again, and then we get into the more open areas, which then lead into Heartland, which is a massive open area. It'd definitely add to the suspense. Indeed it would. Like originally, my first idea, which is crazy, was literally just a minecart ride. I was like, let's just throw Frisk and Undyne in minecarts and just have them do an Indiana Jones style thing where they both chase each other in minecarts while Undyne's throwing spears at Frisk and making them pop out of walls and stuff. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll call it there for the time being, idea-wise, and I'll go just like get a drink and then try and draw up a couple of these ideas and see about stretching my my mental energy. You know, no way am I. Let's see. No way is that a Minecraft reference. Make it a smaller space to add to Frisk's scary feeling. Yeah, so it's very sort of claustrophobic and cramped. So if I make it kind of a smaller space, and then just have the end run be a little bit open. Interesting. You have the Certiport where you live. What do you mean, Certiport? It's like a CAD exam. No? It doesn't sound familiar. My school is making me take it next week, I guess, to get licensed. Yeah, it's the first time I've heard of that. I really don't know. I can't help you much. The Fan 2000, it's fine. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go try and draw some concept art for this area and see what happens. And then we'll go from there. Try and make it a mix of all of these ideas. So, thank you very much everyone. I'll get back to you with more updates real soon. And I hope you've enjoyed. So until then, bye!